Hello and welcome to this special report here at XM.com. I'm Maria Pachortiz, and joining me is Senior Investment Analyst Marios Hadjikyriacos. We'll be discussing the Japanese yen and its current situation in the FX market. So Marios, the yen has taken a heavy beating lately. The Bank of Japan, unlike other central banks around the world, is not about to start raising interest rates. Can you explain why that is?
Hello, Maria. Well, it's really simple, really. There's no inflation in Japan. So if you look at Europe or the United States, inflation is running around 7 or 8%. In Japan, inflation was below 1% in February. So there's no real inflation to fight, and I think that the calculation from the Bank of Japan is they're just going to be patient, and with any luck, they might be able to import some inflation from abroad, and hopefully that will help to break the deflationary mindset that has tormented Japan for decades now.
So do you think we're likely to see FX intervention? And how might that play out?
Well, that's what everyone is discussing lately. So the yen has fallen so quickly and so dramatically that everyone is saying, are Japanese authorities about to step in? However, I don't think that's going to happen, or rather, I think it's very unlikely. And here is why. If you look at previous instances of FX intervention, those were usually done in coordination with Europe and America. And it was usually done to prevent excessive strength in the yen. So it was done when the yen was strengthening too much. Now the yen is falling. So it's really questionable whether the Europeans and the Americans would play along in this situation, because if they agree uh, to weaken their own currencies to prop up the yen, that would essentially make inflationary pressures in their own economies worse. And I very much doubt they want to do that. So if there is going to be intervention, it's probably going to be Japan doing it alone. And that would also decrease the probability of success. Now, if it's going to happen, there are going to be some very clear signals that we haven't seen yet. One of the clear signals would be Japanese authorities describing the yen's moves as disorderly and one-sided. These are magical words almost. They have been used in the past, right before intervention. And if that doesn't do the trick, you might see some reports, some leaked reports that the Bank of Japan is, calling big banks and talking with dealers to check quotes on the yen. And if that doesn't work either, the final step would be a formal intervention warning from the finance minister that we're about to intervene. However, I don't think we are anywhere close to this point.
Is there anything else that might stop the yen's downfall? And what's the longer term outlook for the yen?
Well, here's the thing. There are a couple of factors that could help stop the bleeding. So, for example, if we get some good news on the war in Ukraine, that could be beneficial for the yen, I think. So good news on the war would help to cool down commodity prices. That might help to calm some fears around inflation. And therefore, you might see market participants dialing back some bets for aggressive rate increases by the Fed, for example, or by the European Central Bank. So specifically, the markets right now are pricing in 9 more rate increases by the Fed for this year. If it seems like inflation is starting to peak, then that number could come down. We could see US yields falling back, and that could help spark a relief rally in the yen. For a trend reversal, though, I think we need to see the Bank of Japan moving. So the Bank of Japan so far has stayed away from signaling rate increases. I think that's going to change during the course of the year. So perhaps they send some signals during the summer or perhaps during the fall that the economy is improving. We might consider some rate increases. So if that happens, I think that would help the yen to bottom out and perhaps even stage a trend reversal, especially if if the timing of this policy shift coincides with inflation peaking around the world.
Marios, thanks so much. And thanks for joining us at XM.com.